Hi guys, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what's been going on for me health-wise, and also just in our household that definitely affects home ed. So I'll start off with myself. I went on the most amazing break, me and my sister. We went to Lanzarote. It was just so relaxing, it was brilliant. Me and my youngest had a cold just before I left, but I was pretty much back to 100% health when I went away. When I got back, I think I overcompensated basically for being away, and I overdid everything, and I kind of exhausted myself. And most people won't know, but I have a number of conditions that I deal with. So I am diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, better known as ME. I also am diagnosed with chronic pain, and I think the difficulty with chronic pain is there's no cause and therefore no real cure for it, and it kind of crops up. I also have psoriasis. For those who don't know, it's a skin condition. I think it's classed as an autoimmune condition, but it can look really unsightly. Not that that's what I should care about, but I will get into why that makes a difference for me. It's very sore, it's itchy, it affects a lot of products that I can use on my skin when it's flaring up. I also do stuff with anxiety and OCD. OCD is a really misunderstood diagnosis, I feel. That's something I've dealt with since I was 6 years old. But anyway, I came back from the holiday. I would say I was really anxious to leave the kids. It's not something I've done before. So there was a lot of anxiety building before. I had wonderful relaxation, and then when I got back, I think I felt some guilt, mum guilt, typical, for being away, and I kind of overdid it and overcompensated for being away. And then very, very quickly, within the first week, I had the worst psoriasis flare-up that I've had in a really, really long time. Mainly on my scalp, but it spread to some of my body. And I think the hardest thing for me, I don't know whether it's just as a woman, but as for me personally, I feel so much more motivated if I get up, do my hair and makeup, get ready for the day, look good, feel good kind of attitude. And it was painful to even run warm water over my scalp. So, and also it was kind of you can kind of see just a little bit. I've got a little bit of makeup on today, but it was kind of around my eyes as well. So I couldn't wear any eye makeup. I couldn't cover it up really. It's something I feel very self-conscious about, because to me it can look like dandruff, but it isn't. And I just felt so embarrassed about what if someone saw when I went out. So I was avoiding going out. I kind of wasn't taking care of myself in the sense of getting myself ready for the day and stuff. I was kind of just wearing leggings and baggy t-shirts. Yeah, and I was kind of maybe not probably, but definitely feeling quite low in myself. And this is quite vulnerable to come out with all this, but I think when you're not feeling great about yourself as a woman and you're not making an effort, it can affect every aspect of your life. And I do think that was happening. And I was losing motivation and things like that. And then to top that all off, I wasn't getting sleep. So my anxiety, my OCD, was really flaring up. And I think all of this coincides, if you're someone that's struggled with mental illness, and a health condition, you know that one feeds off the other. So then I wasn't sleeping. My youngest and my eldest both struggle with sleep. They were both really not sleeping. Then if I woke with them, that then just sets your mind going, and then I would be up all night, like until 3-4 in the morning, just mind racing, not able to rest. I think the way I deal with my OCD is to be very, very busy. It can almost look, I don't know how to describe it in the most way. I can laugh at it, it's me, it's my life, I can laugh at myself, but for other people it's like, it's really not funny, and it isn't, but it can kind of look like erratic behaviour, and it probably is. But I like to keep busy, and I will be manic basically, and when you're 3 o'clock in the morning and you've just got that kid back to sleep, you can't be noisy. So I can't clean, and I can't tidy, and I can't organise, and I can't do all of the things that would maybe help my anxiety and my OCD. Kind of, with OCD, you're kind of feeding the beast though, if you just do what it wants you to do. But that's another story. Anyway, so that has been going on a lot, and obviously because of all of that, my chronic fatigue and now I've had illness after illness, and I think it's because my immune system is just shot at the moment. My chronic fatigue has definitely got worse. When I'm fatigued, my pain gets worse, and it just becomes a vicious cycle. So I wanted to come on here and say that, number one, obviously that's affected how much I'm able to get done with home ed. And I think we are like our worst enemy when it comes to things like this as mums, as parents. I definitely don't give myself enough grace when it comes to what I've got done, and that's something that I'm like having to constantly work on. But I will also say, sorry, I feel really awkward. It's not something I've ever really spoken about. I think some people that know me really, really well would have no idea. It's just not something I openly talk about. My mental or physical struggles. So, and I don't know why. It's just, I don't think it's a shame thing. I think I just don't want to burden anyone with that type of negative area, subject. It's sad, isn't it? Like, it's sad that I can't be more open, but I'm trying to work on it. Anyway, so yeah, so how it's affected that is obviously my eldest and my youngest aren't getting as much sleep. They're tired. One thing I haven't mentioned as well is my eldest, she has hypermobility. And unfortunately, in her knees specifically, she's been having like a really bad flare up. I don't know whether it's the change in weather. She's been struggling more and more in the last like 6 months. We've got physio now. But I would say the last few weeks, maybe when the weather's changed, her knees have just become even stiffer, even sore. That adds a whole nother problem because she cannot walk basically any distance at all. Without being in a lot of pain. So, and having to stop and rest and things. And so you just don't want to push her, like, it's not fair. And obviously with my own chronic pain and things, that's a whole other area as well. But it has limited us because I think getting fresh air is so important. And so that has limited us in that area. Because she just can't manage going very far. And she's not getting much sleep. None of us are getting any sleep. But then you can just really become like, the more you sit in that feeling, the worse you end up feeling. So, and I realised that. But yeah, so all of that, to say all of that, I wanted to come on here and make a positive video. So with all that going on, this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. This is what I've been doing in order to help myself. Sorry, this cough is so irritating. So, my biggest belief is that what you put into your body makes all the difference, okay? So, I'm not getting any sleep. That is a really big problem. So working on sleep is definitely something that needs to happen, that we're trying our best to do. We have an appointment for my eldest with her clinician, and we're going to just discuss some things about sleep and if there's anything that we haven't tried. We have been trying a lot of natural remedies for her pain, and that's been going really, really well. I made a video on like what we put in a smoothie for her daily. For myself, I've been really wanting to reduce the processed food that we are eating, all of us, for obvious reasons, for the kids, like the sugar and stuff, but for myself as well, for my skin condition, for my overall feeling like of health. So I have been cooking all like bakes and treats and stuff from scratch, most stuff from scratch, to avoid like that processed food. And because of that, and this is again why it affects our home ed so much, because of that, I need to give time to that. So I've been almost giving like a full day a week during the week to baking and cooking. I've also now changed to only getting food delivered through Ocado, which is a more expensive grocery shop, but the quality is like hugely different, like in my opinion, from what my experience, compared to the like meat and fruit and veg that you get from like Lidl. There's a huge difference. And I have saved money by making our own snacks and stuff, so it's kind of balanced out. But yeah, because of that, it's taking up quite a lot of my time and quite a lot of my energy. I also have to be really, really wary about my energy usage, and limiting myself, which is really, really hard because I'm the type of mum that wants to do all the things, and I just have to limit myself. So that means saying no to certain things, and that is really hard for anyone. Also, I'm trying to like keep like on topic. Also, with my daughter and her mobility, again, it's having to say no to things. But I just wanted to come on here and just be really honest that that is something that we're struggling with, like me in particular, and know that if you've got children that have additional needs and needs, or just medical needs, any sort of additional needs, and your home ed looks different to all these sort of like aesthetically pleasing, perfect videos you see like on YouTube, yeah, I'm there with you. And yeah, I think it's totally normal that, you know, there's going to be weeks, even months, that you really don't get a lot done. And I don't want anyone to feel like that's failing, because I think when you have children that are neurodiverse, home ed can sometimes feel like you've come to it without a choice, that you've been forced into it. But it also, if you have made the choice, like, it's a really brave one, because there is so much out there for like respite for parents and carers of children who are neurodiverse, and we have decided instead of that to take them in and have them at home like full time, and that is so full on. And I love it, like I love it, and I wouldn't change it, but it's okay to say that it's really full on. And there'll be periods of time where your child is going through a certain behaviour and it's not a great one. It's not a great phase of life, and suddenly all three of them will do it at the same, like do have a more difficult thing. But I was going to also do another really short video on our recent wins, because I think it's so important. Like, that's my motto, that when I'm feeling like I haven't got anything done, or I've just feel like the week's been really rubbish, and I don't know, when I'm just feeling low, I will try and sort of sit there and just internally think of all the positive things that have happened that week or day. And it will just really ground me and help me to feel like more positive, more motivated for the next day or the next week. And yeah, I would advise you just to do that, just to sit down of an evening and you're exhausted and you think that you've got nothing done, you're looking around and the house is a mess. Just run through all the things that you've got done, number one, but all the things that went really well, all those little moments you shared with your kids and you thought like, oh my God, aren't they the most precious thing in the world? You know, those like really happy moments, because I think no matter how crap your day is as a whole or week, there's always those moments. And certainly for me, that's kind of what keeps me motivated to keep going. With home ed, with life, not just give up. But no, I know I'm laughing, but there's points in everyone's life, especially as a mum, I feel, that you just think, how can I do this like another minute and keep my patience and keep my composure? But you can. Yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on with me at the moment, in our lives. And also, I will say that for the next month, we have so many appointments because of everything going on. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that an appointment just kind of takes out the whole day, even if it takes 10 minutes. It's like the preparing beforehand, the finding the childcare for the other kids. It's like everything. It just takes out your day and exhausts you. So if you're like me in that sense, then yeah, I totally get it. So yeah, loads of appointments coming up. Hopefully that will mean that the next few months are more positive once we get the help for the certain things that we're dealing with. But waiting for those appointments and going through them is just tiresome. So that's everything that's been going on with us. I am, like I said, hoping to do sort of like a wins of the week. Maybe I would make that a little short and do that sort of weekly. I think that would be a fun, like, positive thing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you are dealing with a chronic illness, autoimmune disease, or just struggling with a mental health condition, like, please just give yourself grace. Just give yourself grace. Yeah, appreciate the things you do get done, the things you do achieve, because you're still showing up, and that's just like the hardest thing, is to get up and get going. Yeah, and I feel for you, it's such a hard card to be dealt, with no real light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's what's so hard. But yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks, bye.